heard. Well, hello, everybody. How are you doing tonight? This is Mike Rochelle with AITP Lone Star, and I'm joined with a bunch of guests. I'm going to go to view only. There we go. So I can see everybody. So, Andy, how are you doing in Hamilton, Texas tonight?
Doing great, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks very much for coming to join us. Keith,
Thanks for having
where
me.
is home for you?
I am in Grapevine, Texas tonight.
And you actually are here. You're not in Boston this time?
Not for a couple days.
I knew you'd be going back. Akshay, there you are in Flower Mound.
Yep, Mike.
And Joe, it looks like you're in your home office tonight. Is that correct?
I am at home tonight, yes, thankfully.
And where is home?
Home is Louisville, Texas.
Louisville. Very good. Very good. And Amir, how about you? Where are you and where is home?
Home is Coppell, and I just got home, yes. Hello, Mike.
Ah, very good. And probably the one that gets the award tonight is Casey, joining us from where?
Salem, Oregon.
Salem, Oregon. Very good. Thanks very much for coming
Just down
in.
the street.
Yeah, exactly.
Chip shot.
Absolutely. And Brian Williams, where are you?
I am in Flower Mound, Texas.
That's right. Just around the corner from me in Highland Village. And Harish, where are you?
Hey, good evening, folks. I am in Little Elm today.
All right. And Vineet is here as well. Vineet Rao, where is home for you, Vineet?
Home is Colleyville, Texas.
Colleyville. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, this is the most people we've had on the show at any given time. And in my experience, in any show that I've had. So we may have to experiment a little bit with moving people around or something. I don't know exactly how that's going to work because we do have quite a few slides and things. For those of you who are new to AITP, we have a couple of things that I'd like Harish to walk through with you. So I'm going to present some slides. Bear with me for just a second. All right. And then we are little bitty thumbnails on the left-hand side. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can fix that. Aha, it'll knock out the bottom of the slide, but at least I can see everybody. All right. So Harish, would you mind telling everybody just a little bit about our mission and who we are?
Absolutely. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining the November chapter meeting for AITP Lone Star. And the mission is to provide superior leadership and education in information technology. And also AITP is dedicated to using information technology partnerships to provide education, have the members access to all the benefits in terms of networking with the industry, as well as and assist overall promotion, direction of value creation within business technology. So, it's a great chapter to be part of and great minds as well to learn from.
Awesome. So can you tell us, since you're our membership chair, a little bit about membership?
Absolutely. It's I go buy coffee every day, even though I make coffee at home. So it's the value of a coffee. It's the monthly subscription is just a coffee a day kind of stuff. It's $6.99 a month. And $91 in a year membership, and it has a lot of great value, which is going to be covered in the subsequent slides.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Harish. So our primary reason for being here tonight is our 2024 IT Champion Awards. We call people IT champions because that's what they are to us, but also to their companies and to our industry. So for those of you who are champions that are joining us tonight, thanks for coming and joining us for these awards. And the interesting thing is that the first award that we're going to give might be a little bit of a surprise to Harish, and that's the reason I asked him to be the one that introduced the program. Harish is actually celebrating, I think it's actually over 10 years of board of director service to AITP. He was actually on the board before I got here in 2015 and has done a phenomenal job assisting with the chapter through all those years. So we're thrilled to announce Harish Rajagopalan has been awarded the prestigious AITP Lone Star Distinguished Service Award for 23-24 for his exemplary leadership and significant contributions to the Texas IT community over the past decade. So Harish, thanks very much for all that you do for us. Tell us a little bit about what AITP has been for you as an individual, not just as a board member.
Absolutely. When I moved to Texas in 2014, I live in Chicago. I used to attend quite a bit of AITP back then, but I've never served the board. So when I moved here, I want to get to know more people with my sales role and also learn from the leaders. So, AITP is the one which I reached out, and Bill and others at that point of time said, hey, we have a board position. Are you interested to join? Which I said, yes. And at that time, the chapter was actually sinking in the sense, not too many members. And we have to regenerate the membership and, we have to get back on our feet. That's when I met Mike for first time, and he introduced servant leadership to me as well. So a great journey so far. I've worked with many leaders, learned a lot, had networked, got business through some of the chapter meetings. The list goes long. So it's a great to be part of the board as well as contribute to the community as well.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, Harish, for all your service. I know on this, our third go around on rejuvenating the chapter.
That's right.
You were the first person that I called. We had cigars with Akshay over at Cigars International and kind of plotted our return. So I think for me, kind of a theme for the night is first call response, and I think that everybody that's here on this board on the left hand side, I'll put everybody on the bottom here in a second. There we go. All along the bottom now. Our first call responders for speaking opportunities, for sponsorship opportunities, for volunteer opportunities that we'll get to in a little bit. So like Harish, you're all gifted and appreciated. And Harish, we applaud you for your service and thank you for that very much.
Thanks, Mike, and thanks everyone.
All right. So the primary conversation that the board members and I had about this was, how are we going to pick? Because everybody that came did a phenomenal job, and we decided that instead of doing a one leader is above the rest kind of a thing, that because, like I said, everybody was a first call response to either of the opportunities to speak or volunteer, all those kinds of things. I propose that we do a slate of awards, and that's kind of what we settled on. So let's just go on and get into that now. So Harish, you wanted to introduce Sven. Just talk a little bit about what he talked about, and then we'll go to the next slide, which is the actual award.
Absolutely. When Sven did the first chapter meeting presentation, I think, he was about to leave Mattel at that time. And he was in vacationing in Florida. And he was kind enough to kick off this chapter meeting in the month of May. And His topic was placing business value at the heart of the digital transformation, where he wanted to share what he has done at Mattel, and how placing business value as a core was kind of the backbone of his presentation, and we thanked Sven for that and the learnings he has showed on us, and happy to honor him with the Digital Value Visionary Award for the topic he covered, as well as Mike rightly mentioned, he was one of the first responder to kick off this AITP Lone Star for 2024. And we thank you, Sven, for spending your time even while you're on vacation and doing this presentation. So thanks again.
Yeah, it was in the gap month or so between roles that he joined us. So thanks again, Sven. Awesome job. Brian, would you like to take Ed Marx, please?
Sure, yeah. Ed was a fascinating gentleman and great presentation with, leadership lessons. We're all looking for lessons to learn from other individuals who have been there before, and to learn how to have that servant leadership. And Ed really presented that and explained those lessons and climbing those, those tall peaks he talked about. And especially with this generation and this corporate climate that we're in, it really helped, I think, a lot of people, learn from how they can have that leadership aspect of, really growing from others and learning how to have that servant leadership. And so we're honored to provide the Summit Leadership Award, which is fitting since, we're talking about tall peaks, and there's actually a TV show called The Summit. It's very fascinating TV show if you hadn't seen it. So, but it's very exciting about that climb up to the peak, and we really appreciate Ed for all that he did.
Absolutely, and I'm looking at my text real quick because he responded today that although that he would love to be here, he's in London. Trying to find his text to see what he's doing.
London.
He was in London, England. Obviously, evening happened already some time ago.
Yes.
But it was the Three Marxketeers, London, England, November 2024 show. Wow. So I'm not exactly sure what they did, but I'm sure it was phenomenal. So Ed, thanks very much for always supporting AITP through probably more than a decade. And for sharing your leadership award or your leadership lessons. All right. So I actually am going to introduce Andy Ivey. And since Andy is here, Andy, we might be able to have a little bit of a conversation. So when Andy and I met, he was an up and coming CISO. And it was pretty obvious to me very early that he was going to rise to the top of whatever organization, whatever competition, or whatever he put his hand to do. So Andy shared with us a really phenomenal conversation regarding creating business advantage with cybersecurity. And Andy, since you're here, can you tell the audience a little bit about what you talked about? Just kind of summarize it.
Yeah, so I think all of us at some point are kind of thrust into cybersecurity, usually not by choice, right? You have an event. Events are universal now. It's not anything that you should be ashamed of. It's not anything that you can run or hide from. You're going to have a security event. And I had one thrust me into the world of security. And it was not an area that I wanted to be a specialist in, but I tackled it like I do everything. And I went and got the certification, right? And for this area, it's the CISSP. And it was a great learning on what skills you need to have to be successful. But the problem was that's like being a fireman, where you're just putting out a fire, right? But what do you do as a business leader once the fire's out? And we had to figure out a way to justify cybersecurity investment as a competitive advantage. And in our industry, we felt like going and getting a certification as an organization, which for us was ISO 27001, was a way to go win work. And it looks like it's proved to be true that it's nice to have a third-party cert when you go sit in front of a client and say, hey, you can trust me with your data. And sure enough, having a third party there that audited you and said, hey, these guys are pretty good at what they do, turns out to be a pretty good way to win work.
Awesome. So I would imagine that those are really a lot more fun conversations than having the conversation that you've been breached, right?
Oh, way more fun. Way more fun. But like I said, everybody's going to have an event. You can't hide from it. And you might as well lean into it and use it as a way to differentiate yourself.
Absolutely. So for that and for the wonderful conversation that we had with you that evening, we're providing you with the Cybersecurity Strategist Award, recognizing the creation of business advantage through robust cybersecurity measures. So thanks very much, Andy. We appreciate you, and we will applaud you since you're here too.
Well, appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys.
All right. Harish, would you like to take Clay Aiena, please?
Absolutely. Clay did the August chapter meeting presentation, and we are very honored to learn from him on the digital experience. And he was focused on how he worked on the digital side of it while they were doing a lot of mergers and acquisitions, and how they have to have a crucial discussions from today's business leaders' perspective in terms of those areas. So he happy to honor him with. You want to move to the next slide so that we can talk about the awards as well.
Sure.
So we are going to give him a award, honor to provide him the Digital Dynamics and M&A Mastery Award, commemorating excellence in digital experience and leadership growth with M&A. Thanks, Clay, for your presentation. Thanks, Clay, for your contribution and your support to AITP Lone Star.
Yeah,
Thanks,
and Clay is at an offsite with his leadership team doing strategic planning tonight, so he can't be with us tonight. So, but Clay, thanks very much for always stepping in the breach and assisting us. And again, thank you for your service to the nation.
Absolutely.
All right, so Amir, you're here, correct?
I am.
Aha, there you are. So this was an actual amazing presentation. What made it even more amazing is that we had originally talked about Amir speaking in, I think it was December. And then about 2 days before our session, we had someone cancel for business reasons. And Amir, I called him, and again, first call, he said, yeah, I can do it. And so the really cool thing that he's doing at the Dallas Museum of Art is that he's bringing art to life with AI. Amir, have you completed your trademark work so that you can tell us a little bit more about what you're going to do? Or is that still super secret?
It's still in progress. We had an appointment with the USPTO just last week. So yeah, we are applying for a provisional patent.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I mean, I've talked about it at the last podcast. We are using an AI art detection system that people can use to point their smartphone cameras to any objects in my museum, and the art detection will identify the object and will fetch the bunch of different content from my online collection and run them through 27 different languages and
Wow.
Bring it back to you on your own language. We're trying to make art more accessible and provide more information. That's the gist of the project. There is a lot that goes behind it. We have that system, an ecosystem that connected together with our digital asset management system and our museum collection management system.
Awesome. So, Keith, have you had a chance to go down? So just so everybody knows, Amir and Keith and I worked together at the Aid Matrix a millennia ago. I was there for a short period of time. They were there for longer. Do you have any questions for Amir, given your long history?
I'm just super excited about just seeing how Amir's continued to grow in his career, and it's just such a gift to see that. But also too, I think, where our worlds continue to converge is that word of accessibility. And I love, Amir, how important that is to you and your work, to making these things accessible to anyone. So thanks for committing to that.
Thank you. And then Mike, I wanted to share a blast from the past. I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember this? That's from the 2018 AITP, and I have had it in my office for the past 6 years, and it's a point of a conversation because of its shape. Everybody asked me about it, and I tell them it's because of an infinite support of the North Texas tech leadership that we help each other every year, like Keith said, to grow. And I'm so appreciative for AITP to be around.
Well, I appreciate you, and I have mine here too, and they are a subject of conversation.
Yes,
and it is an infinity loop, so it's awesome. So yeah, and that was for the Senior Leadership Forum that we did with AITP.
That's right.
Back when we were at the Las Colinas Country Club.
That's right.
So, awesome. Well, I appreciate that. So, drum roll, please. Amir, we're very excited to provide to you the AI Art Innovator Award.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Honoring the fusion of AI and art and bringing creative masterpieces to life. The cool thing about it is that you don't have to wait until he has his patent and trademark and all that stuff. You can actually go to the Dallas Museum of Art and do a tour of the museum from your computer, which was an innovation that Amir has already provided to the museum since becoming the Chief Information Officer there. So Amir, thank you very much. And let's give him a round of applause, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome. So Joe Vaughn, I think you are here still.
I am. I'm hiding over here in the corner.
Okay. I still haven't placed you. There you are. I see. Sorry. These things, I have infinity stuff on my glasses, but they're still so small that I can't see that far. So it's really exciting to have you here tonight, Joe. Thanks for providing, I think, one of the most in-depth conversations that we've had about the fintech revolution, not only from an overview of the industry, but also the tremendous dynamic journey that you've provided since being there for the last couple of years. And then tagging on your cybersecurity event. So Andy, you're 100% right. Joe actually went through, I think, a lot of detail regarding the breach that they had. And Joe, how are things going in that regard? Just any updates on that experience?
Yeah. Unlike Andy, I'm not quite ready to lean into it. I still have some scars. But MoneyGram is doing great. We're able to get our business back up and running quickly. Customers quickly return. That's the good news. And, we're getting back on track as a business. And now it's just explaining to all of our business partners and regulators and just working through making sure everybody feels like they vetted and we've addressed any concerns. But otherwise, quite happy with where we're at. Definitely.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. And we're super excited to provide to you the FinTech Trailblazer Award, celebrating the transformation successes and challenges in the financial technology realm. We left the cyber stuff off just in case you wanted to put this up in your office.
Thank you. Leave that for Andy.
Absolutely. So let's give Joe a round of applause too.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Joe. Okay, so I think I need to do this because we haven't heard Renee speak. Now, I know Renee for at least the last 24 years, and she has been a repeat speaker at AITP over the years. At one point, she was the chair of a school for girls in Fort Worth, and we supported them and back and forth with AITP several times. So what I know about Renee is that she's a consummate professional. She's actually speaking in December, and we'll talk a little bit more about what she's speaking about. But I'm confident enough in what she's able to do that we're giving her the award early because we don't want to have her wait until all the way to November of next year. Renee is the Chief Operating Officer and President at Pearson Partners International. She has some fancy title, NACD.DC, and we'll have to have her tell us exactly what that means. But she always has been a C-level game changer. So we're giving her an award on that, honoring board demand leadership that drives transformative change at the executive level. She is a recruiter as our Pearson partner, so she's a great person to know if you're an executive. And also just a great person in general. So let's give Renee a round of applause, even though she's not here. All right. So I'm going to look and see if we've had any other people join us. We have not. So I'm going to continue on. All right. So even though we have a fairly fledgling chapter, not a lot of finances and things like that, what we decided to do, I'm on the board of the Virtues Project, and I was talking with Miraj Ahmed back probably in May. So it was almost about the same time that we started the AITP chapter. And I asked him if he could help me from a technical perspective, kind of lead some of the technical architecture design for upgrading the Virtues Project. The Virtues Project has been around for about 35 years. And obviously it is about the virtues. It's a phenomenal place. If you're interested in checking it out, you can go to www.virtuesproject.com. But what they didn't have, they still don't, we're working on it, but we're gifting in advance the award to both Miraj and now Vineet Rao, who Vineet is on the call. So Vineet, can you just talk to us a little bit about what you guys are building? And when you think we'll have our first draft of the solution.
Of course. Actually, I must, if it's okay, I want to also tell everybody why I even agreed to this project. Is that okay?
Absolutely, yes.
So Mike and I have known each other for the last 4 or 5 years now. I think when I first moved to Dallas from Phoenix, Arizona, AITP was the very first networking event I attended, and I happened to meet him over there, and there was something about him that really made me feel that things that normally people do, they always do with a sense of what's in it for me. But he's always talked to me, and over the years, he's always talked about what can we do for others. And the Virtues Project is probably one of the many things he does. So when he approached me, I think it was earlier this year, somewhere over summer, Mike, that we started talking about, look, here's a non-profit organization that really needs a lot of technology help, but then they really don't have the resources or the means to get to that, the kind of technology that they need. So obviously the conversations led to what type of work that is needed. And it just happens that their needs are not too much. It's more about how to make the whole project more visible and attract people to get to learning more about them, the type of seminars they offer. And basically it's like an exchange where you have facilitators who actually are trained and who have certifications to provide that kind of training of what Virtues Project is over to anybody who desires to learn more about it, enhance their lives, and in some ways just get to be get onto a self-growth journey. The simplest thing to do was to provide them with a connection, right? So when Mike said, hey, we want to get something going here, so we said, great, what do we have in front of us? So Mehraj and I have been talking about it quite a bit to say they have the necessary infrastructure, they have the necessary tool sets in the form of a CRM, but how there's nothing visual in there, right? So how do we create an exchange where you have facilitators who are the ones who are providing that training and the courses, and what do we have on the learner side of it, and how do they get access to that training anywhere in the world, right? So that's what we are building for them. We are really building a UI exchange where facilitators can come in and say, this is what I provide, and learners can go and say, this is what I seek, and then we kind of match them up to get the training done correctly. We are still in the beginning stages of that. The good thing about this project really is, we really, what we thought would be a really hot and sexy kind of a technology solution is not that, because that is where we as technologists really make a mistake, thinking that everybody wants the best and the baddest out there. But it's a very simple thing. Hey, help me do my job with some simple screens. So this took me back decades in my career, actually, to say, how is it that, going back, rolling up my sleeves, not being the leader, but saying, okay, let me just come up with those designs. So we are going through that process. We have done a couple of iterations, and we are waiting for some feedback from them. So I think somewhere early 2025, Mike, if things go as we have been progressing, we should be able to see at least the first version of that in production.
Absolutely. So Vineet, thanks very much for joining Mirage on this particular project. And then the other person in the trio is Chris Savage, who is a former AITP board member. A couple of years ago, dropped AITP because he was called to be on the board of his church. So he just finished that role of assignments. And instead of asking him to come onto the board here, I asked him to help us document kind of the infrastructure strategy for the Virtues Project. And we have a part-time employee that runs 4 or 5 hours a week. So Chris is the director or the CTO from an infrastructure perspective, and helps give him guidance on what to do with the time that we have to pay him. So all of these three are volunteers for the Virtues Project. We very much appreciate the time, Vineet, since you're the representative that's here tonight, that you guys are providing. And without you, we couldn't do these things. So thank you very much.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, Mike.
Absolutely. So let's give him a round of applause. Thank you for whoever was clapping and reminded me. Yeah. So, and by the way that it connected is that the board decided that we would adopt the Virtues Project as a project and then use volunteers. So it's a little bit of a different model. And this is one of the things that Vineet and I talked about early on, is that basically, if we can provide executive oversight and provide an infrastructure of how to do, then we can start chunking up projects and find students in the university that need a project, or other volunteers that can actually do, the actual build. So we'll be asking for more volunteers. So stay tuned to that. So thanks very much, Vineet, Chris, and Miraj Ahmed. All right, Harish, you said that you were going to give a little bit more details about membership. So would you mind doing that now, sir?
Absolutely. So, the ecosystem we have built with the AITP Lone Stars to make sure, it brings value to all the members, and, where they could be able to network with their peers, leaders, and also they can learn from the monthly chapter meetings, the leaders talking about different areas which can help them learn. And also, as you heard about the Virtues Project now, so that's another giveaway for all the membership to access and leverage. And from a branding perspective, we have a tech learning and certifications. We are partnered with Advanced Net Labs, which is going to come, which the announcement will be done by January, and they'll have access to those courses where they can get certified. So that's another access in terms of memberships, and obviously learning process technology by those monthly chapter meetings, as I earlier mentioned. And from a partner perspective, they have access to the thought leadership on business value innovation, AI, cloud automation, leadership, data security, etc. as well. And there is a partner event participation, which is, again, depending upon, it could be either free or discounted. And also they can be part of the membership interest group, and they can be with like-minded folks across the state. So this is not just for Dallas. This is a Lone Star chapter. So across the state, they can be part of. So a lot of value you get out of this joining as a member from a value perspective, and just $6.99 per month, as I said, a cup of coffee.
Awesome.
So that's where I leave it, and encourage everybody to become a member and grow with us.
Awesome. So in that regard, we have several partners here with us tonight, and I'm going to have either they or myself, depending on whether they're here or not, talk about what they're doing as partners for us. So before I do that, I'll just say that we do have January and February already scheduled. So Brad Cope, Chief Marketing Officer at Level Legal, is going to come talking about did AI write this blurb? What IT needs to know about artificial intelligence and marketing. So it's actually a pretty interesting vertical where you could bring a peer or share that conversation, because he has quite a bit of high-end thought regarding how to do it and do it well from a platform perspective. And then Manish Misri, who's the CTO at TechBridge, another person from Aid Matrix back in the day, who's the CTO, is going to be talking about pioneering technical advances for humanitarian impact. Some of the things that Amir and Keith and he had put together back in the day, he still takes care of. And they have several other things that they're doing for humanitarian impact. So Keith, I'm gonna switch over to your presentation and ask if you would talk to us a little bit about the AITP Academy coming soon in January.
Great. We we at Advanced Net Labs, we are a tech for good organization, and we're extremely excited about partnering with AITP to provide the academy for AITP, but also to jointly provide some curated content and other opportunities, not just for the AITP members, but out into the world. And we think both, primarily for social good, but also for some income opportunities for AITP as well. We have already ready for people to start to pilot test here pretty soon is the AITP Academy. It's built on our Work Ready Academy platform. It has over 8,000 courses curated into over 100 pathways with a lot of industry certificates. And then also now with AITP partnerships, some certifications. The AITP is helping curate the content and create confer certificates for shorter pathways of 5 to 50 hours, and then and then full on certifications, which will be discounted to the members and then also offered out. We're offering this out now to career and technical education folks in school districts and other places. We're getting ready to offer that out. And so we're very excited about doing this. One of the neat abilities we have with these in partnering with AITP is, a lot of industry certifications often have requirements that are untenable for somebody finishing high school may not have 2 years of work experience, right? Or that returning vet, or may not have some of the industry background. And, we're working with AITP to make sure we've got meaningful credentials, but that are more accessible to certain populations, as well as for our AITP members, like the very best training and certifications. You can move to the next slide. Yeah. So the portal is here. It's up. It looks like this. In terms of education areas, again, we've got certificates, which are shorter, and certifications, which are larger. Those certifications are robust. In fact, we're in conversations with a university right now where to have those certifications be worth 3 credit hours at those schools. So that's just to give you the idea of how robust those certifications are. Currently we have one already curated and through the pipeline in entrepreneurship. We have ones we're working with Mike on the team, and the team right now is an IT certification, IT generalist, and then also a sales certification, or the 3 certifications that we're curating new together. But right now, as soon as we release the portal, there'll be certificates and there'll be pathways in content that's very important to AITP members in growing their career, whether that is leadership development, for example, career development, sales training, and then several deeper technology pathways as well. So really helping AITP members position themselves for future leadership roles in their organization, or with the entrepreneurship, taking more ventures on their own, like several of our board members have done. Again, we've got the very exciting content, some of the latest and greatest things out there. The content we have comes from different corporate sources, mostly from Cornerstone on Demand, which is the world's largest corporate learning management platform. So it is the same curricula that actually some of you may be paying a lot of money for to be put into your Cornerstone implementations in your corporation. The AITP members are getting for just a fraction of that, or for free, really. Through some of the work that we have with Cornerstone. Again, latest and greatest curricula. So just one example, one that's coming down the pike is AI in the workplace. We have, this is a curricula that actually Advanced Sense already has out and we're using, but we're going to refine it and provide the AITP credential. With that, for the example, the AI in the workplace is about a 16-hour curricula right now. That's has a mostly business focus, but there is a more technical piece for those who are interested in really getting hands-on with some of those AI tools. And again, we'll be producing certificates for that. And people will be able to take that, and just that courseware in a while for being an AITP member at $91 a year. Well, I mean, that's $1,000 worth of curricula right there, so that it's clearly worth it. And it will always be the latest and greatest because of the corporate relationships we have. This content just got released this past quarter, and I guarantee you by next year, it'll all be different and upgraded, right? Because that world is changing so fast. So know that the members will always be getting the latest and greatest that industry is demanding with our work. So that's a little bit about us and what we're doing. As they said, we're very excited to release that in the beginning of the year, and we'll be ready for pilot testers and folks to participate ahead of that as soon as folks had interest. Personally, I'm in the middle of the AI in this AI in the workplace one. I'm actually in the middle of taking this one right now.
Awesome, Keith. Well, thanks very much for sponsoring for next year. So AdvancedNet Labs, not only because of this learning capability, but also from a sponsorship level, is our title sponsor for 2025. So Keith, very, very much thank you for that. That'll give us the capability to get our paperwork done and get set up with the state and all that, so that we can become a real thriving chapter again. So thanks very much for your efforts for the education. And the exciting thing, I don't know, he kind of just passed through it pretty quickly from a chapter perspective, is that if the certifications are certified by us at AITP Lone Star and they're sold via other vehicles within the Advanced Net Labs network. Those certifications that we assist with certifying and with curating, we also get a revenue share for those. And then we get a significant revenue share for any of our members who take the classes, which we will split with our members. So it'll be a really good cost advantaged way for folks in your organizations to get certifications. So Joe and Andy and even Chris Savage, I think, for those of you who have large groups that are in your purview, it may be an option for them for education for the coming years. So stay tuned on that. And if you're interested in getting a deeper dive, let me know and we'll set that up with Keith. All right. Awesome job, Keith. Thank you very much. I'm going to remove this one from and go back. I thought I saw Chris Savage here for just a minute. He is back. Okay, he's here. Greetings, Chris. How are you today?
Fine. Sorry, I had audio troubles. Hope everybody's doing well.
All we could see for a while was a little spinning wheel. At least I could. I was trying to get it on. So where are you joining us from?
The Navy Pier in Chicago. We're having the closing event for Microsoft Inspire.
Very good. Very good. Well, I'm glad you're out there getting inspired. I'm going to add to the stage the AITP slide. So bear with me for just a second. I'm going to back up just a little bit. And the award, Chris, that we are providing you and Mirage and Vineet is regarding the gifting of the webpage project that we started, but now with the work that you're doing with the doing the administration guidance for us. So we very much appreciate you guys, Mirage, Vineet, and you, Chris Savage, and we provided you with the Virtues Project Giving It Forward Volunteer Award. So thanks very much for stepping in very quickly and helping us get a roadmap to successful administration of the platform and the various tools that we have at the Virtues Project.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And lots to do, but looking forward to contributing and doing what we can to keep you guys up and going from an IT perspective.
Absolutely. So in Chris's regard, this actually is exactly what he does for a living, much like Vineet and Mirage actually too. But Chris is the CTO at Hinson Company and does administration for companies on an ongoing basis as a outsourcing service. So we're not asking them to outsource us. We're just asking for guidance, and Chris is providing that. So we really appreciate it. So let's give him a round of applause. All right. Thank you very much, Chris. Let's see. I'm going to flip through the slides again. And thank you. Akshay, are you still here? Yeah, you are here.
I'm here, Mike, now.
All right. So can you talk a little bit about what you're planning for 2025 with ThemeSoft?
So, Mike, like as you know, early in the year, this year, we had like a one in-person session where we had people come in and join us for the happy hour. So we'll continue with the same. And in 2025, we plan to host a one in-person event every quarter. That's going to be a second Thursday, basically.
Very good. So yeah, we
open for all the IT champions, our members, and their peers. So
absolutely. So we'll have those the second Tuesday, and our meeting happens on the third Tuesday. So we're hoping that we can get everybody liquored up at the happy hours, and then get them to commit to coming on Thursday, on the following Thursday night for the online version. So thanks very much, Akshay. We appreciate you and ThemeSoft for sponsoring not only next year, but you did some this year as well. So we appreciate that.
Thanks, Mike.
Casey, you're still here, correct?
Yes, I am. Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. So Casey, like many of us, is both a business owner and also a dad, and his wife is out of town. So thanks, Casey, for joining us tonight. So I have 2 slides for you. One for Elevate IT. You do more than just Dallas and Houston, but since we're AITP Lone Star, I figured we would just talk about those. So can you talk about that a little bit? We've been working with you for the last 6 years. We really appreciate you coming to town. And what do you have in store for 2025? And then I have a CruiseCon slide next. So tell me when you're ready for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of you we've reached out to, some of you we've worked with. Vineet, good to see you again, buddy. It's been a while.
I know it's been.
But just from a high level view, we bring an executive level technology conference that's developed specifically for senior level IT and cybersecurity executives from across all verticals. Typically what we like to do and kind of how it's evolved into being something a little different from the average conference that comes through town is we like to bring in senior members from across all company sizes and different verticals, different industries, to join panels and you know, kind of discuss the topic of the day, give their unique perspective, again, given their vertical, whether it's medical, education, government, or so on, and company size, and talk about their diverse experiences based on, you know, their backgrounds and how it relates to the specific topic of the day. We break it out into, you know, CIO panels, CISO panels, our keynotes. We host a women in technology panel, and then a closing keynote at each of these conferences. And we've, like Mike said, we've been partnering with AITP for some time, provide complimentary membership or admission to these conferences for AITP members. Conferences provide, I believe, 8, if not 10 CPE credits, continual education credits. And so we like to work with our friends. You know, we like to pool our members and folks that we've worked with in the past, especially AITP members, for these panels, help you know, kind of grow your personal brand at the same time while you're sharing your experiences and expertise with the audience. So that's kind of the overview for our regional conferences that we host. Something new this year is CruiseCon 2025. We've partnered with a gentleman by the name of Ira Winkler to kind of co-produce the world's first cybersecurity conference at sea. Logistically, it has been probably one of the challenges of my life, besides being a parent. Working with a cruise ship, and then bringing all these individual pieces together has been challenging, but it's coming together fantastic. We've got you know, senior leaders from government. We've got Admiral Morrison, the ex-director of the NSA, is keynoting. We've got folks that you may know from, you know, the Houston area, Jarek Beeson, CISO for waste management, and a handful of others that are jumping on board. Jairo Urea used to be out at Kimberly-Clark there in Dallas. He's now with Royal Caribbean. He'll be joining the cruise as well. So just a good way to kind of combine, you know, 2-day conference with some entertainment, some leisure time, that sort of thing, and change up the game a little bit. I know we all go to these things. I think, Chris, you said you're at Microsoft Ignite in Chicago. So I would compare this to something like that insofar as it's a destination event, but you know, we also like to incorporate some leisure time with it to make sure that it can be a family affair. You know, cabin spaces come with a double occupancy, so bring a spouse or a +1, or we've had some folks that are, you know, having their IT team come in and bring in kids. So making it more of a family affair, but also making sure the educational piece is in there as well. The ship leaves our boards on a Saturday. We have a conference day on a Sunday. So folks are using that kind of those 2 days in lieu of the shore excursion days in Cozumel and Coco Cay, Bahamas, kind of to offset each other, so they can explain to work like, hey, I'm leaving not to go to a conference, not just go on a cruise. So there's some discounts for AITP members, like Mike has here on the screen. But we also have Black Friday sale going on right now. I think until the December 6th, that'll give you 20% off even. So definitely some fun stuff. I encourage you to take a look. You go to cruisecon.com and look at the lineup and the agenda and see if that fits. Like you mentioned, Andy, I believe you mentioned that, this is a win scenario, not a what if, that, a breach happens. So, might be good to come get some extra input, talk to some of the folks. We've got some Fortune 200, Ask Me Anything CIO or CISO panel. So anyway, we've got that. And then I'm also hosting a C-suite conference in Cabo San Lucas in November of 2024 that I can throw some details out kind of as they evolve. And I'll make sure Mike shares that with the group as well. But definitely some fun stuff, regional conferences, but destination family-friendly kind of things. So
awesome. Thanks very much, Casey, and thanks for your years of partnership. We appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you in Houston and Dallas again next year. And then if you're interested in CruiseCon, contact any of the board members and we can provide you with those discount codes. For those that are members, just connect with us on Meetup and you can get those codes as well. Awesome. Thank you very much, Casey. So in addition to being the leader of this organization, I'm also a partner. So I provide the members, at least this year, I've provided the membership system. I do the marketing and the broadcast solution for us. And for me, it's just kind of natural to do it. There are some things that have to happen in order for that to happen. So I'm excited about being a partner from that perspective. And from a business perspective, what I'm able to do for large IT teams is assist them in growing their outcomes from a trust to teaming, harmony, and results perspective. If you're interested in learning more about that, please let me know and I can help you with that. I also have a brand new, and Andy and Joe, this is probably the first time you're seeing this because I just created it a couple of weeks ago. I now have a cultural maturity model, and I can assess an organization in somewhere between 30 minutes and an hour with the leadership team of an organization. And I do it from a cultural perspective. I know this is hard to read. Let me see if I can open it up just a little bit. Probably can't. But if anybody's interested, it's primarily members, but for those that are not members, you can reach out as well. I can meet with you for 30 minutes to an hour and basically give you a score on where you are from a cultural perspective today, given the behaviors that your organization are providing, and then also where we could go together regarding how to grow that organization. So it dovetails quite nicely with the survey that we do at the beginning and the end of each of the programs. So we'd love to chat with you guys about that if you find interest in it. The last partner that we have who is not here tonight is Brian Howard from JobSeeker Pro. And if you go to jobseeker.pro/AITP, there is a special resource page that he created for us. We were the first group that he ever did it for. But Brian has actually been a sponsor for many years through many different organizations. So Brian, thanks very much for that. And if you want any information from him on his resource page, you can do that. You can also connect with him at Brian at JobSeeker Pro, jobseeker.pro, it looks like. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody again for coming out. Just remember that Renee is coming on December 19th. I'm going to bring everybody up so we could actually see at least everybody. Andy, thanks very much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. We really appreciate you and stepping in to share with us your story. Keith, thanks for coming out. Akshay, Joe, Amir.
Can I make an announcement, a personal one with the group?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
My son just got accepted into Texas A&M School of Medicine.
Aha, very good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome. Since we're doing personal stuff, my daughter just got accepted into Baylor with a massive award. However, she's still waiting for the rest of them to decide whether she's going to go there or not. So good job.
Go Baylor Bear.
Yeah.
Very nice.
All right. Well, I really appreciate everybody coming out. Let's see. Who else did I think? Vineet and Chris, Brian, Casey, thanks for coming all the way from Oregon. You guys have a great evening. Joe and everybody else will be talking to you soon. God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.